In the excitement of the season, it can be pretty easy to overlook some of the key pieces that have really helped certain teams to succeed.
Old friend Kyle Van Noy, who is now back in New England. What's it like to be back?
It's amazing. This is home. I'm glad I'm back.
Some of the most impactful players weren't expected to be such difference makers with their new teams in 2021. But alas, they've been pleasant surprises that few of us seen coming. Here are the 10 low-key offseason moves from 2021 that have reaped the greatest rewards. Chiefs snag Creed Humphrey at number 63 overall. You could almost write a novel on the changes the Kansas City Chiefs made to their offensive line in the offseason. GM Brett Veach and head coach Andy Reid simply wouldn't let Patrick Mahomes run for his life again after that disastrous performance during Super Bowl 55. The Chiefs gave up a king's ransom to acquire superstar offensive tackle Orlando Brown Jr. from the Baltimore Ravens. They threw a 5-year, $80 million contract at former New England Patriots standout guard Joe Tooney, and they even lured Kyle Long out of retirement. Little did the football world know that it would actually be Creed Humphrey, whom the Chiefs drafted 63rd overall, who would make the biggest impact on the offensive line. Humphrey has been a bona fide star since hitting the NFL gridiron. He's probably arguably the game's best center, and no, that's not an exaggeration. Humphrey has completely changed the dynamic of this offensive line, and you can't help but wonder how much of a difference he could have made in the Super Bowl last year. A pro football-focused darling, Humphrey played an instrumental role in the Chiefs' second-half turnaround that guided them to a 6th straight AFC West Division title. What is it with Kansas City finding all these gems in the later rounds? Needless to say, every other team ought to be disgusted with themselves for letting Humphrey slip to the Chiefs. The Falcons signed Patterson for $3 million. When the Atlanta Falcons handed special teams phenom Cordarelle Patterson a 1-year, $3 million contract in free agency, it wasn't exactly eye-popping news. I mean, it was hard to envision much of a role for Patterson in an offense that consists of Calvin Ridley, Mike Davis, Matt Ryan, and rookie sensation Kyle Pitts. But new Falcons head coach Arthur Smith saw something special in the 4-time Pro Bowler that nobody else did. And what do you know? Smith was right, as Patterson has only been the best value signing of 2021. Really missed most of the season to step away from football and deal with his mental health, and Mike Davis just couldn't cut it as the #1 running back in Atlanta following his impressive season in Carolina. That opened the door for Patterson to emerge as a secret weapon for the Falcons, and boy, he certainly made the most of it. Patterson enjoyed career highs as a receiver, crossing the 500-yard mark for the first time in his career. He also took over as Atlanta's top running back and surpassed 500 rushing yards in the same season. Not to mention that Patterson continues to thrive as one of the game's most dangerous special teams return men. A 3-way star who contributes as a game-changing receiver, return man, and running back for only $3 million? The Falcons haven't done a lot of things right over the years, but signing Patterson to a modest 1-year pact will go down as one of the best moves in recent franchise history. Packers bring in Devondre Campbell. The Green Bay Packers' biggest offseason move of 2021 was simply doing just enough to have Aaron Rodgers return and walk back on his trade request, at least for 1 year. Brian may not see eye to eye with GM Brian Gutekunst, but there's no denying that the latter is one of the best in the business when it comes to personnel decisions. Case in point, the signing of veteran linebacker Devondre Campbell, who took a cheap 1-year pact worth $2 million. Even without superstar corner Jair Alexander and veteran pass rusher Zadarius Smith for most of the 2021 season, the Packers defense didn't miss a beat. And it's largely thanks to the efforts of Campbell, who has enjoyed a breakout year under first-year defensive coordinator Joe Barry. Campbell has excelled across the board as a run stopper, pass rusher, and especially in coverage. Thanks to his production, Green Bay once again ran away with the NFC North, and they remain in prime contention for a Super Bowl championship. Green Bay doesn't usually like paying top dollar to retain key players, but they ought to make an exception and extend Campbell, right? You can't emphasize enough how much of a difference maker the former 4th-round pick of the Falcons has been on this unit. Vikings sign Xavier Woods. The signing of future Hall of Famer and perennial Pro Bowl quarterback Patrick Patterson garnered far more headlines, and understandably so. But it's actually former Dallas Cowboy Xavier Woods who has made the bigger impact in Mike Zimmer's secondary. The Minnesota Vikings handed him a one-year pact worth $1.75 million, and Woods outplayed that contract with relative ease. The Minnesota defense was unable to return to its once elite form in 2021, and the unit was almost as bad as the 2020 group, which Zimmer, by the way, stated was the worst defense he has ever coached. But that is not at all the fault of Woods, who has turned out to be an incredible complement to fellow safety Harrison Smith. Woods has excelled especially in coverage and even set a career high in interceptions this year. Zimmer also found creative ways to use Woods as a pass rusher, and he was more than up for the challenge. The Vikings need to rebuild, or at least retool in some fashion for next year. But one thing is clear. Woods has earned a new contract, and many would be silly to let him test the free agent market. Kyle Van Noy returns to Foxborough. The versatile linebacker joined the long list of players who struggled after leaving Foxborough. In 2020, Van Noy left for the rival Miami Dolphins, inking a 4-year deal worth $51 million. Predictably, he performed below expectations and was released after one season. In a typical Bill Belichick move, Darth Hoodie brought back Van Noy on a 2-year pact worth up to $13.2 million. Also predictably, Van Noy performed like he had never left New England in the first place. The two-time Super Bowl champion has regained his form as a do-it-all workhorse linebacker, helping New England's defense re-emerge as one of the NFL's elite units. Van Noy is a game changer in the front seven, and he excels in coverage as well. Has Van Noy learned his lesson that his best bet is to stay with the Patriots as long as Mr. Belichick wants to keep him there? I sure hope so. Rams acquire SONY MICHEL. In July, Los Angeles Rams starting running back Cam Akers tore his Achilles and was expected to miss the remainder of the season. With backup Darrell Henderson Jr. now atop the depth chart, Los Angeles decided to add some insurance. SONY MICHEL became the odd man out in a crowded New England Patriots backfield that already had Damian Harris and rookie sensation Ramondre Stevenson. So, the Pats dealt MICHEL to the Rams in exchange for a 2022 6th rounder and a 2023 4th round selection. With injuries continuing to pile up in the Rams' backfield, MICHEL has served as a safe and reliable lead back for Sean McVay and company. The offense reached another level with Matthew Stafford, but MICHEL has done his job as the bell cow when called upon. This looked like to be a minor trade at first, with Henderson assumed to be the unchallenged top dog in the LA backfield. But MICHEL has emerged as more than just an insurance option late in the season, as he's taken over duties as the leading ball carrier for the Rams down the stretch. And he only cost them 2 late-round picks. Eric Flowers lands in D.C. Drafted 9th overall by the New York Giants in 2015, Flowers never came close to living up to expectations in the Meadowlands. A brief stint with the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2018 did nothing to revive his career. He had 1-year stops with Washington and Miami in 2019 and 2020 respectively, but the veteran guard looked destined to be nothing but a bust, until the football team reacquired him in an offseason trade with the Dolphins that saw the team swap late-round picks. 2021 was a very disappointing year for the defending NFC East champions, but Flowers was definitely a positive that the franchise should be pleased with. He was rock solid throughout the year and played a big role in helping Antonio Gibson enjoy a superb sophomore season. It looks as though Ron Rivera and company have revived Flowers' career. Not too bad for a guy who was deemed a bust for the first 5 years of his career. Randall Cobb returns to Green Bay. When Aaron Rodgers agreed to rejoin the Packers, he had a special request for the front office. Bring back old friend Randall Cobb, one of the most trusted teammates A-Rod ever had. After one season with the Houston Texans, Cobb was traded back to the Packers in exchange for the low price of a 2022 6th round pick. Now, Cobb hasn't been playing at a Pro Bowl-like level for the Packers, but he's been a reliable security blanket for number 12. He was pivotal with wins over the Pittsburgh Steelers and Arizona Cardinals, recording 2 touchdowns in each of those contests. Cobb's return has made Rodgers a visibly happier and more relaxed man. And it's not just about what he does on the football field. Bringing back Cobb is a sign that the front office will give Rodgers some input on personnel decisions going forward. which is crucial if they hope to keep him beyond 2021. Only time will tell if this year is the last dance for Rodgers and Cobb in Green Bay, but the Packers' decision to bring back the veteran wideout has paid off big time so far. 49ers draft Elijah Mitchell. Like last year, the San Francisco 49ers have been hit hard by injuries in the backfield once again in 2021. But just call John Lynch a man with a plan. Raheem Mostert missed practically the entire season. Understudy Jeff Wilson and promising rookie Trey Sermon also missed plenty of action. But the San Fran rushing game didn't miss a beat whatsoever. That's largely thanks to the efforts of another rookie back, Elijah Mitchell. San Fran selected the Louisiana product in the 6th round, 194th overall in this year's draft. And what a steal Mitchell has been. Even without their 3 lead backs for most of the year, the San Fran running game remains as explosive as ever with Mitchell. Next to Deebo Samuel, he and George Kittle have been arguably the most important pieces on Kyle Shanahan's offense this season. Had he been the starter from day one, Mitchell could have easily crossed 1,000 yards rushing. Patriots sign KENDRICK Bourne. With a ton of cap space, Bill Belichick went crazy in 2021 free agency. Tight ends Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, wide receiver Nelson Aguilar, and linebacker Matthew Judon were all signed to hefty deals. Belichick also brought back the aforementioned Kyle Van Noy and offensive lineman Trent Brown. And he found his new franchise quarterback in Mac Jones with the number 15 selection. With all those noteworthy moves, it was easy to overlook the Pats signing of former 49ers receiver KENDRICK Bourne, whom they snagged on a 3-year deal worth $15 million. Well, it didn't take long for fans to realize just how vital Bourne would be to this offense. His lightning-quick speed and route-running abilities have made him the perfect fit in Josh McDaniels' offense. Bourne and Jacoby Myers have quietly developed into a reliable pass-catching duo for the rookie Mac Jones. Bourne had a career high in receiving yards this season and became one of Jones's go-to guys in the red zone. Thanks largely to Bourne's play, the Patriots are alive and well again and back to their dominant ways. And to think of the many receivers who are making way more than Bourne while doing far less. But what other low-key offseason moves have paid major dividends in 2021? Join us in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.